My name is Sarah. I love to garden and create things, but most importantly, I love God and want all that I do to reflect Him. I want to share my life with you, my successes and failures, that we may learn and grow together, as we are not meant to live this life alone. And while I cannot offer you perfection, I do simply invite you to come and grow with me. Well, hey there! So glad you've joined me today. Today, I am excited because I'm going to take you with me and go find out how our sweet potatoes did. I love growing things that are in the ground, and it's kind of like a surprise because you really don't know how much you're going to get until you harvest, which could also be disappointing if you're expecting a large harvest, but for me, it's a fun game. So I'm going to take you along, but before we go, I want to ask you a question. When is the last time, and or how often, do you sit and be? Decompress, don't be entertained by things, sit, get a cup of tea, sit outside, and observe the birds and the trees. I'm sure wherever you live, you can get outside somewhere, may or may not be quiet, but somewhere, and just rest. I find that I am all too often eager to get going and do the next thing, and that just causes me to live stressed. So I'm inviting you right now to sit with me and be. And you might think, Sarah, this is boring, let's move on. Then it probably means you could use a moment to just be. And think and let your thoughts unwind. Speaking of thoughts, so yesterday I had a day where it started off wrong. Nothing was going right, and felt like I was going to be late to everything, and it was stressing me. But I also recently had this understanding or idea that regardless of what happens around me, because I can't control that stuff or what people do to me or say to me, I have a choice of how I respond. My circumstances do not dictate me. And so I was thinking about that yesterday, wanting to be frustrated, wanting to be angry, wanting to be mad, and I kept reminding myself, I can't control my situation. I can control myself and how I respond. And am I going to let this stress me out, or am I going to just take it a step at a time and try to go with the flow and just work through what is? And it helped me not get stressed out. I still felt the stress, but I think the day went better, and I didn't allow the rough start to the day ruin the whole day. That doesn't mean I didn't have feelings about it, but I didn't let that rule me. And I hope that can encourage you, because if you've started your day off bad, it's not too late to start it right, to change your attitude, to go, nope, I'm not going to let this derail me. I'm going to have character today. I am going to have peace today. And I'm going to do what's right today. And I'm not going to bring doom and gloom and anger and whining to the people around me. Because the Bible says to do everything without grumbling or complaining. And everything means everything. So let that encourage you today. Drink some tea, some coffee, juice, whatever you like. And be for a minute. I'm going to drink my tea for a little bit, and then I will take you into the garden, and we will see what's going on there. You want a sip? Have a sip. All right, I think I've had enough. It's warming me up from the inside out. Let's go see what's in the garden. Let me go grab my tools, and then I will take you to the garden. All right, as we walk into the garden, I want to point something out to you that I find very interesting. You might find this a cheesy parallel, but let me tell you about it. Okay, so my kale here, the row that I told you in another video, is an accidental ground crop because it accidentally grew. So anyway, I noticed this the other day, is that the kale in the first half of the row here is nice and big and luscious, but then as I get to the back of the row, it's like tiny and not growing well, and it just looks awful. And I got to thinking, I was like, why is it like this? You know, it all got planted at the same time. It's the same soil. I actually had the same problem with my potatoes that I harvested in another video. The potatoes in the first portion of the row were really nice and larger, and then here in the second half, they didn't get very big and didn't produce very many. So I was thinking, well, what's the difference here? I'm pretty sure it's the same soil. I don't think anything's poisoned, and the one thing that I could think of was sun. That closer to the house, it gets sun earlier, and then here closer to where I'm standing it's shaded until later in the morning. And so it must be a difference in amount of sunshine that it gets. And then that got me thinking, if my plants that don't get much sun or at least don't get enough sun, don't grow very well, how does that apply to us for when we, you know, whether we allow ourselves to be busy or purposely make ourselves busy, don't spend much time with the S-O-N, Jesus, with the Lord, and in His Word? You know, are we like the little plants that just aren't growing well? Or are we in a lot of sun and like the plants that are just blooming and well, they're not blooming, but exploding? So, take note. Spend time with the Lord so that you can grow well. All right, let's get to the sweet potatoes. Now, with sweet potatoes, I don't know if you know this, but not only can you eat the potatoes that you dig up, but you can also eat the leaves. Now, you just look at the tips where the leaves are nice and young. You can cut those off and stir fry them. One reason that I grow sweet potatoes is because when we lived overseas, that was my favorite dish, was stir-fried sweet potato leaves. So I was so excited when I figured out what those were and that I could grow them here. And yeah, so okay, you know it's time to harvest sweet potatoes when the leaves yellow. And I tried to harvest a couple weeks ago, but there was only a little bit of yellowing, and there's been more since, and browning and such. But you know what, it just rained and now they look good again. So I don't know, it's playing games with me, but I think we're gonna harvest today. I think they're ready. Let me show you. So see some yellowing here, some older leaves. This is some new stuff growing though, and I'm like, ooh, that looks yummy. I just might have to harvest some of those leaves. So along with the weeds, this is an interesting situation. So this is my strawberry patch over here. And at the edge of the strawberry patch, I planted sweet potatoes. You can see in the weeds, sweet potato plants. However, the strawberries have come into my sweet potatoes. See, there's some strawberry, there's some sweet potato. So this causes a problem because to dig up my potatoes, I will likely have to dig up my strawberries. So we'll have to see what I do as we get in here. And I need to clear this whole area, and because the strawberries are spreading out and I don't want them to spread to the side. So I need to move them and just make a full row here. So this funky one. Woo, those are good. The tricky thing with sweet potatoes is they grow all over the place. I have had to dig into the paths to get some because they just grow. And with regular potatoes, I find them easier to find. But anyway, I'm gonna do the row and I'll show you what we find. Alright, I got my potatoes harvested, and where they used to be growing is now this big pile of weeds. This is what we got. Not bad. I think I planted 8 sweet potato slips, and each plant probably gave me like 4 or 5 potatoes. Not bad. In the process, I've dug up 3 buckets of strawberries plants, and I need to go down that path and clean them up. And you may ask, well, why? Why not just let them grow? If I let them go too wide, I'm not going to be able to reach to the center there and pick and harvest strawberries next year. So, got to clean it up. It's coming. Sometimes I feel like when you're trying to clean up, you just end up making more mess. I have mess. But it's coming. I'll show you when it's done. Okay, I got my mess cleaned up. Now it's time to plant my strawberries back in. Well, that wraps it up for today. I just need to water these guys, clean up my tools, and we're good to go. So learn a lesson from me. Don't plant your root crops next to your perennials because they mix together and then you mess up your plants. If you like this video, please make sure to hit a thumbs up to let me know, and then subscribe if you want more videos like this, and then you'll get notified. And thanks for joining me today. I will see you in the next video. I'm over here sweating away. Here's my cat, playing dead. Shadow. Okay, I had to show you this because this is also exciting. Look how big my loofah gourd is. I'm so excited. And there's like 3 more that are getting pretty good size. So I think I'm gonna get some loofahs this year. I'm excited.